5 NFL games of Week 10, and I am whipping it up here. Not only am I bringing you my top 5 NFL games of the week, I'm also making a little special breakfast. A little something on the high end, if you will. I'm making some breakfast brisket sliders, and it's gonna be good. And speaking of good, let's go ahead and jump into the first game, Browns versus Ravens. In that game, Leo, I have the Ravens in that game. I think they're right now one of the most underrated teams in the NFL, and they are very, very, I would say like this, they are a Super Bowl caliber team. They hitting on all cylinders. Lamar Jackson, I wouldn't trade him. Don't give him up. What do you think about that game? You got the Browns or you like the Ravens?
I mean, right now Lamar Jackson hasn't even shown his true potential. I feel like they're limiting what he can do because overall, I've watched him since the Louisville times where he was completely dominant. He could throw down the field. He could run the run option all day long, and he's unstoppable. He's a built-in quarterback, built-in running back. He's the overall package.
Absolutely. Give that man some due. Quit talking about Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Herbert, Lamar Jackson. He is a real deal. Texans and Bengals. Speaking of Joe Burrow, he was very thorough last week versus San Fran, or the week before that, before their bye week. In this game, he's going to be facing the very scrappy Texans defense led by C.J. Stroud on offense. Rookie of the year, in my estimation. I got the Texans in my top 5 because everybody's sleeping on them. They are factors, and I really think they can compete with the Jaguars in the AFC South. However, but today, I mean, the Bengals are clicking on all cylinders, and they look nasty. I got the Bengals today.
Unfortunately, I feel like this is just like any other sport where one person can take over the entire game. And I feel like C.J. Stroud will throw at least 3 touchdowns today, at least. Because unfortunately, he's he's once in a generation type talent. And a lot of people underrate him, but unfortunately, he's pretty much shown up for the haters and been like, hey, I'm here. I'm a leader. He's the total package.
What he did to Tampa last week,
Whew. Chopped him up.
man. Speaking of chopping them up, you got Trevor Lawrence at home. They're hosting the 49ers coming off a 3-game losing streak. Will this be the day that Brock Purdy turns it around for himself personally, taking care of the ball? And the 49ers defense, can they reclaim some type of luster that they had at the beginning of the season? How you like that game?
I'm going to say that the 49ers are going to show why Brandon Ayuk deserves the money that he's going to get next year. He's absolutely going to tear them apart. I feel like Christian McCaffrey had enough weeks to rest. And it's going to be, I'm going to give them 35-6, San Francisco.
All right. And I'm looking at this game on what can potentially happen. You know, Trevor Lawrence, 6'6", thoroughbred of a quarterback. He thought he had a bum knee against the Saints. He showed his mobility in that game. However, I really think the 49ers, they have to bounce back. And since this is a half-2 game, a must-win early game for the 49ers, Steve Wilkes is bringing his black ass down to the sidelines. Bring your ass down. I got the 49ers in the bring your ass down game. And the Packers versus the Steelers. I've got to be able to make my handwriting a little bit more legible. The Packers facing the Steelers. I got Kenny Pickett in them boys.
Unfortunately, I mean, they have a better team overall. The issue is, I mean, what do you do with T.J. Watt? I mean, he, at this point, has shown that he's unstoppable. He will take over a game by himself. And I see the Steelers going at least 21-3.
21-3. I definitely like that. Now for the Jets, Jets. I said it last week. They got a wussy of a quarterback. I said it last week. He's a punk. Now you got the Antonio Pierce led Raiders. I got the Raiders. I sure do. I sure do. I got the Raiders over the Jets. Even though the Jets have a better defense than the Raiders, and the Jets probably can beat the Raiders just by the defense alone, I don't trust a punk for a quarterback. I got the Raiders.
And this is the part where we can definitely divide the sea here at this point, because I feel like Breece Hall is going to go at least 160 yards this week. I feel like he can take the game over. They're not using him enough. If they use him at least 30 times a game, I feel like it would be over. The Raiders defense definitely does have Max Crosby, but the issue here is the offense. If you can't get the best wide receiver in the game right now, Devontae Adams, the ball, it doesn't matter.
And I think they're going to be able to do that. Don't forget Josh Jacobs over there. We're definitely going to be tuning in. And this was my top 5 NFL games of the week. Let's go watch some football, y'all. I like that.
Hell yeah.
I like it.